Morning everyone, Jesse with Urban Builders. Just starting a new project here in Point Loma in San Diego. So we'll be converting, you can already see we've began demo. We're converting a 500 square foot single story garage into a 600 square foot garage, and then we'll be building a 499 square foot ADU with an amazing view. And so I'm gonna go ahead and turn around the video, take a look at some of the work that we've gotten started with, and then like all our other projects, we're gonna document this entire process. So any who are interested in building their own ADU as an owner and builder, or if you're hiring that out and you just wanna understand a little bit more about the process, then go ahead and subscribe and you can follow this project or others, and you can learn a lot from how we do these builds. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around now. Those audio pauses are quite regular because we're very close to the San Diego airport. But there in the background you have the Laguna Mountains looking down towards Mexico, and then there's a Coronado Bridge right there, of course, downtown. And then as we go this way you have Old Town, Mission Hills, looking up into the Claremont Bay Park area. So on the project, initially, first issue we have is the electrical. So our connection right now is going to be right in the middle of our ADU, one of the walls, and so we're going to have to relocate that. And so we've reached out to San Diego Gas and Electric and put in a request, service request. We're waiting for one of their planners to come out and give us some direction before we can do anything. But for the most part right now, we're starting on this lower level demo. We've torn all the stucco off. We have some retention here, so half of the wall is buried. This wall here is going to also come out about 4 feet. We're going to turn and we're going to continue that same raised foundation as we have on this wall. We'll continue over here until about this area right here, where we'll drop down to the slab on grade footing there. And one of the big things that you want to do initially is locate utilities. So we found our sewer line there. Typically we will use a plumbing service with a camera to locate the lines, otherwise you spend a lot of time digging. On top here we have just our 3/4 inch copper that goes from the water meter at the street to the existing residence, which is pretty far over this direction. And then that line that's right about here, a little bit further down, is an old water line that's since been abandoned. So we're going to have to reroute this water line a little bit so that it's not running right through our footing. You can see it right there. Here we've got a 48-inch deep footing that we're going to also form the walls so that we have a nice, tall, but straight and clean foundation here. And then of course, because we are extending the foundation, we will have to dowel into the existing all around. We'll have to use a special inspection and epoxy all of those dowels according to the structural specs. And so you can see we've got our service entrance cable here. The meter's on the back side. Weatherhead's right above. Sorry, that audio pause for the airplanes again. So that's what we're going to have to move temporarily and then relocate to the top of the second story once it's built. So that service entrance cable here running along the top plates here, runs down. So it runs down into one of these conduits. So that one on the far side was the old telephone, which we're not going to be continuing. This is the cable internet, and then that bigger one down there below, I think it's 1.25 inches. That is the conduit for this service entrance. So we're going to relocate this, of course, as well, so that we can keep the house connected during construction. But we want that to be in the proper place. So you can see we're kind of at the early stages of this project. It's been a lot of handwork here because it's not really feasible to get a machine in here, and so a lot of our digging we do with electric jackhammers, 30 or 40 pound hammers, and we're just getting this footing cleaned out. Next couple days we'll start doweling, getting our inspection, and then we'll try and get this footing poured before we get some heavy rains, and then we'll start framing up this lower level. One other detail on this, because this is a beautiful property, a lot of well-maintained and old growth trees, so a lot of these junipers were very well manicured but sticking out over the roof line of our new ADU, and so we had a nice arborist and tree company come in, remove some of the main limbs without damaging the structure or also the shape of the trees more than was needed. Again, you can't really beat this view, especially once we get up to the second level over there. It's going to be pretty amazing, especially at evening and at night. So again, as I mentioned, we'll be documenting this entire project, and so typically the way we make the videos is on an inspection phase. So as we go through the different inspections, like the underground, the foundation, the rough framing, and electrical, plumbing, HVAC, and on through the whole project, we try and document all the details and codes. If there's anything that the inspector calls us out on, try and mention that. And the purpose is to help homeowners or other clients who follow us to be able to understand more about the process. So looking forward to this project, and subscribe if you want to follow and learn a little bit more about building ADUs.